Use SOH to find the missing angle. I'm going to call this angle X just for math's sake, and I'm supposed to find that missing angle. Well, I have a right triangle. That's extremely important. I don't have the other angle, but I do have two sides. It's telling me to use SOH. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a look at X. 42 compared to X is my hypotenuse. 40 compared to X is the opposite side. So I am going to choose the three of these that involve the hypotenuse and the opposite side, and it's U. So what I do whenever I'm using SO is I get a needle and thread. I say sine of my angle, which I called X, is going to equal the opposite side over the hypotenuse. Okay, so I don't know X. So sine X equals the opposite side, which is 40, over the hypotenuse, which is 42. Excuse me, math teacher Goat, you left a whole lot of space there. Is there a reason? Yes. I have to find X. X here represents the angle measure. Sine is in the way. So just like Christ did for us, I have to wash this sine away by inverse sining both sides. In order to get rid of the sine, you inverse sine both sides, and that cancels out the sine on the left. The problem is I have to find out what inverse sine of 40 over 42 is, which I have zero clue. So you always, not always, but most of the time in geometry, you're going to have to run to a calculator, which I'm on my iPad. I'm on Desmos right now, and I'm typing out inverse sine of 40 over 42, and I get 72.2472. So I'll write all those out, 2472. Now, this is an angle measure. X is nowhere in the original problem, so I'm not going to circle this for two reasons. Again, because X is nowhere in the original problem and I don't have my degrees. So I'm going to write out 72 point, and if you want to round this to 2 decimals, fine, 25 degrees. But that's my missing angle measure. Okay? And I use SOH to do it. I had to do inverse trigonometry to do it, and I landed on that guy. Again, when you have to use a calculator, make sure your calculator has a mode set to degrees, which means if you're using like a TI 84 plus or something like that, you hit mode and you make sure it's in degrees. If you're using Desmos, you click the little wrench looking thing and make sure it's set to degrees. Otherwise, it's going to give you a completely wrong number. But that's the right number, and I'm happy.